everybody. Hi. Here to moderate the conversation is author and critic Godfrey Shashar.
Good evening, and I want to introduce one of the actors from the film, Sara Fazilat. We have very fancy microphones here tonight, so just wave if you can't hear us. Anyway, Sara, I know that you grew up in Germany, right? Studied in England, in London, and in Columbia here in New York, and are mainly based in Germany now, and you're an actor, a writer, a producer, a lot of things. Tell us, well, first of all, do you have an Iranian background? Do you have an Iranian ancestry?
Yes, I'm born there. I'm born in Tehran. I was 3 years old when I packed my suitcases. And yeah, but I grew up in Germany, and so I would say I'm both. I'm a third culture kid living between two cultures.
And your family spoke Farsi when you were growing up?
Yeah.
So you speak Farsi?
I do,
You spoke
yes.
that your whole life. This film is an international co-production. I mean, I was a little bothered when I saw the initial reviews from Cannes calling it an Iranian film because it's actually a German, Swedish, French, Belgian film, right, in terms of who produced it. How did you get cast?
I got invited for a casting. It's an online casting which you record yourself, you tape it, and then you send it over. And then I got a call for a recall for Denmark, and then I went there and we did the recall, and that's how I get it.
Right, right. What did you read about the part and about the movie that made you think you wanted to do it?
First, for the casting, for the audition, I just got the scene, and then when they asked me to come to the recall, I was like, okay, I want to read the whole script, and I didn't know the film from Ali Before Border, so I watched that one too. And then there were also some things I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that, so just telling you because I don't want to waste your time and my time. And then they were like, yes, okay, we can talk about it, come here, and yeah, that's
Where was here? Copenhagen?
yeah.
Yeah, they did that.
Copenhagen, yes.
Yeah. So what was it like when you talked to them specifically about the part and what you saw in it and what they were wanting?
You mean character-wise?
Yeah.
Or for me, Zainab is a really strong personality because it's really hard to stand up in general for yourself, and especially in a society like Iran. Like you could see in the film where they're also saying, no, don't do it in front of everyone. I mean, Said is basically just showing his emotion, and it's like, no, don't do it. So you can imagine how it would be to be a sex worker there, and of course this woman don't have another chance. They have to do it, and she's really confident with it, and she doesn't give a thing about what other people think about her, and she just do what she wants to do to live her life and to make her living. And I think this is really strong, and this is also something I learned from her, to live my life and not think too much about others' opinions. Yeah.
Right. Did you do any research on this kind of character in Iran, or about the current situation in Iran with women, especially in Mashhad, the city where this is set?
Yes, basically a lot of research, because I grew up in Germany, and even when Ali came up with we have to do a Mashhadi accent, I was like, okay, I have never heard a Mashhadi accent. What is that? Can we not go with a Bavarian accent? And it's familiar. So I had a coach to learn this Mashhadi accent, and also the attitude, like I figured out my attitude is more German than Iranian. And this is also the struggle I always have, because in Iran people say, yeah, you're the German one, in Germany I'm the Iranian one. So I had to adapt this mentality and the character. And actually, when Ali told me his mom saw the film and he's not believing that I grew up in Germany, I was like, okay, good. Probably, yeah.
Right. What was it like working with the actor who played Saeed? I thought he was so good in this role and sort of perfectly cast. And he's really from Iran, right? Yeah. What was that like? How did you all work together?
We had a stunt coordinator on set for the whole fighting scenes and everything, so we did this kind of things. But again, there, I think for people from Iran, it's also a bit hard to understand that I've got another mentality, because they see me fluently talking Farsi without an accent, And I think sometimes they don't really understand that I'm not from there, and the way I'm talking is really straight and not the Iranian way of talking. So I had also to understand, okay, if Iranians are talking, there are 5 possible ways what they mean. And but it was also interesting and to learn that, and yeah.
The film, has it been seen in Iran? I mean, it wouldn't have been shown in cinemas, but have you heard from people in Iran that have seen it in other ways?
Not yet. I'm sure it will be somehow
Yeah.
shown there. I mean, not officially, but
Yeah.
it will. But what was pretty shocking for every one of us was after the screening in Cannes, I mean, no one had seen the film. It was the world premiere. But we all got threatened via social media and without even knowing the content. And I mean, it's based on a documentary on something that happened there. But immediately they were really like, and this is also how you can now imagine what is happening there at the moment in the political situation. And yeah, it's tough, and at the same moment it's good that we have this film to put the focus there and the awareness and somehow make it understandable for the people to understand what is happening there really. And I mean, the people are risking their lives every day, not just risking, they're getting killed. And yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine made the documentary you talked about, Maziar Bahari, and did Ali want you to see that documentary or not see that documentary? It's a really powerful film, but I think, you know, when I saw this film, I realized that Ali did a lot of things to, you know, make it, dramatize it, not just try to follow the documentary. And I thought he did a really good job with that as well. Did you see the documentary? Did you?
I saw bits and bites, and Ali left it open to us if we do it, because at the end of the day we're actors and we made up somehow the characters.
Yeah.
And he also took scenes from the documentary, like the end scene with the child. It's basically in the documentary where it's rolling the sister in the carpet and stuff. So yeah, but he didn't tell us, okay, watch the documentary and we have to copy paste it.
Yeah. By the way, that documentary is on YouTube if anybody wants to see it. It's called Along Came a Spider, and it's a pretty fascinating film in itself. You all shot the film in Jordan. I was surprised that Ali said he tried to get to shoot it in Iran, because I thought there's no way they're ever going to let this be shot in Iran. But so you probably didn't even have an idea that you could shoot in Iran. You probably just knew it when you were going to go to Jordan, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was mixed between Turkey and Jordan. It was going back and forth, and he tried it, and as far as I know from tellings, he went there, talked to them, and of course because of censorship they read the script and they offered him some tea and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, of course, they didn't allow it, and I think it's also the reason why Turkey was then not allowing it to being shot there. And then we had COVID, and at the end it was Jordan.
Yeah. Well, you know, this film has so much resonance right now. I when I wrote about it, I talked about that second scene where we see the female reporter going into the hotel to try to register, and they end up saying your hair is not covered enough, which is what got the woman in Iran killed by the morality police apparently, and set off all these protests that are still going on. Have you been hearing from people about that? And what's your take on what's happening now? Are you in touch with people? Are you keeping up with that?
Yes, I am in touch, and I'm also happy that everyone who is somehow into arts are trying to make it visible and are talking about it, because the politicians are not talking or doing things so much they should have. And at the same time, it's really hard, especially for people who are somehow connected or have parents there, because at the same time some traumas which you got from your parents are coming up again, and you see the pictures, you cannot sleep, we all dream nights about things like that, getting kidnapped and whatever. And it's and that's also so important, why we need allies, that also other people raise their voice and talk about it, because I think everybody in the community who can is really trying hard, but at the same time each individual has got other things to cope at the same time with.
Yeah. Makes sense. Let's ask for questions here if anybody wants to ask Sara anything about the film. Yes, sir, over here.
You're saying that the entire film was shot in Jordan? Because I've actually been to Mashhad, and if the film was entirely shot in Jordan, I have to say that somebody did a pretty brilliant mock-up of the interior of Imam Riza's shrine, or they used that little bit of material showing the culprit inside.